Basic appraisal procedures, page 137. Other Fannie Mae valuation regulations and guidelines. Conditions of appraisals. Fannie Mae allows appraisals to be conditioned three different ways. 1. As is, which means it represents most appraisal assignments for properties that do not have any physical deficiencies or conditions that would affect livability. 2. Subject to completion. Usually for new or proposed construction. Sometimes there are items to be completed in a property that do not affect the ability to obtain an occupancy permit. In that case, the appraisal report must show both the cost of completing the items and the as completed value. The cost to complete cannot exceed 2% of the as completed value. 3. Subject to alterations and repairs. Used when there are conditions or items affecting the livability of the house, or physical conditions posing a risk to the soundness or structural integrity of the improvements. The appraiser must certify completion of the alterations or repairs. Final reconciliation. The final opinion of value is stated as a single number, with most emphasis being given to the sales comparison approach. The appraiser's conclusions must fall within the range of results indicated by development of more than one approach. In other words, the final reconciliation is interpolated, which is means within a known range, rather than extrapolated, which means concluding outside of the range. Rural properties. Fannie Mae does not provide loans for rural properties, but there are some special guidelines for the appraiser to know. The property must be residential in nature and not an agricultural type property. Barns and outbuildings must have a relatively insignificant value. Fannie Mae will lend on more than 5 acres. However, the appraiser may not use a physical segment of the property. For instance, 5 acres of a 20-acre parcel, because Fannie Mae finds this to be an unacceptable practice. Comparable sales may be more than 12 months old and further from the subject than typically preferred. The appraiser must comment assuring the comparable sales selected represent the best available. If marketing time is longer than 6 months, the appraiser must comment why. The appraiser must also focus on the reason for the longer marketing time in the report. Special note: even though Fannie Mae accepts loans on rural properties, some lenders will not underwrite them. If a property is rural, but the appraiser complies with a lender's request to indicate the property as suburban, this practice would be misleading and a violation of the ethics rule of USPAP. Manufactured housing. Fannie Mae will accept properties that are improved with manufactured homes. The Fannie Mae definition of a manufactured home is discussed in Chapter 6. In addition to meeting the criteria for manufactured housing, the appraisal must be reported on the specified Fannie Mae form. The protocol for developing and reporting manufactured housing is much more complex and detailed. The cost approach must be developed. In the sales comparison approach, at least 2 comparable sales of manufactured homes must be used. And if the third comparable sale is a site-built house, the appraiser must explain why using it was necessary.